Welcome back. I have been in a space of deeply guided living, just very feminine energy, very restorative, very moving with nature, moving with cycles, moving with what feels good and not pushing myself to do anything that doesn't feel good. And boy, does it feel good. So that being said, everything's just been in flow and I've been in this state of allowing. And that doesn't by any means mean it's, rainbows and, butterflies all the time. But it's just a lack of resistance with life and what wants to come through and what wants to be presented. So there's feeling, there's emotion, there's processing, there's transmuting. I feel light workers have been doing a lot of work on the astral right now for the planet. So there's a lot going on. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is this collective, those that have found it, it's a very, very specific reason that you found it. The energy and the vibration and the frequency that I put out for this is mysterious. It's high priestess energy. It is supposed to live in the unseen until it's not. And that will be revealed when... So we just got cut off. Really interesting how what I was talking about the unseen and living in the high priestess energy in the high priestess realm. And then I got cut off. So trust that there is a mysticism behind all the work that I'm doing. If you've come and you've worked with me, if you watch these videos, if they resonate with you, if you've felt a camaraderie with our journeys, if you've felt like you've seen yourself in my journey and what I've shared, know that there is a very specific reason and it's very divinely guided. And when the divine says the time to be seen is here and it's time to come into that sort of, let's say this, come onto a bigger sort of stage, so it will be. But for now, it's a very mystical sort of quiet energy. And I'm really enjoying this and really relishing in it. And the reason I share that is because I want you to know that if you feel like you haven't quite had recognition, you haven't had things returned to you on the 3D level in the way that you feel like you thought it was, or that it was coming, or that it's deserving, and I'm talking to divine feminines, know that it's not ready for you yet. Your energy has expanded and become so full and so big and so whole that the 3D has to catch up. So your guides, and those of you that tune into this channel in particular, it's a very small group. It's a very small group of people that are already at a level of ascended masters. I've worked with a lot of you. Your energies are incredible. You are ascended masters. You are wise ones. You are guides. And there are beautiful twin flames out there who are very advanced, but not at this level. And there's a reason that we're kept in the shadows. There's a reason that you're kept in the shadows in your lives and you maybe don't receive yet, because it's being prepared for you in a way that is actually deserving of your energy. It doesn't mean you're not a gifted manifester. It doesn't mean you can't manifest. Just if you don't have what you have been calling in or what you want yet, it's because it's not ready for you. And I feel this deep, deep feminine empress energy right now for our collective, where all you need to do is sit and wait. And if I'm talking to you and this resonates, you probably feel pretty peaceful and relaxed. Your outer world, the 3D, the conflict has dissipated. It's like things have really mellowed. Things are almost too quiet, too still, too calm. You're like pinching yourself like, what's going on here? Why are things so peaceful? Sure, you may feel pain, you may have emotion run through you, you may transmute energy for those around you, for your twin, for whoever, whatever conflict that the world is in. You may still feel that because you're a channel, of course you do. But when it comes to your life, the karmic situation is done. You've transcended it. You're past it. You've healed. And now you're just kind of waiting. You're just waiting for the ships to come in. And they're coming. And the trick in this period is really just to allow that magnetic, strong pull that you have as the Empress. Allow it to bring to you what is in alignment with you. And if there's something that you're wanting that hasn't come through, then that thing has not been ready for you and the energetic vibration and frequency that you're at. That's something I really want you to know. And I know other twin flame readers and channelers do not teach this, because that's not necessarily what's going on in their collective. Many have not transcended. They have not done all that healing. They have not gotten to a place where it's really not about you anymore. And it's about coming into complete, neutral, balanced energy and holding that frequency for the souls that are in your group. That you're here, you're a volunteer soul, and you're here to volunteer your gifts, your light to a group. There are people that you are helping. And now you are being asked to be a frequency keeper for those souls while all the conflict has dissipated in your life, while all the drama. And you just wait. And not lose hope while you're in this waiting period, to not give up, to not start to doubt yourself or your manifestations or your capabilities. Just know it's being prepared for you so that it's of equal value to you as what you give. When you give so much, there's not going to be many that can match you. You're not going to be able to be matched very often, so you may feel like a hermit. You may find yourself alone a lot. You may find yourself, coming to these places like, am I doing something wrong? Am I the crazy one here? Like, why has this not, and that's part of your lesson. I do believe that if this is resonating for you, that's part of your lesson in your work, is to not doubt yourself in the moments of quiet and stillness, and to recognize that that was something your soul chose on this path. Your soul chose to really test your patience, to really test your ability to stay the course and to stay the knowing while you wait for your manifestations, while you wait for your abundance. Because you're getting it. Every single thing that you want, it's going to be better than you can imagine. And when you're manifesting to kind of help, you can always say this or something better, to release any form of attachment to a person, place, thing, or money, or anything super specific. It's like this or something better. And know that it's coming in. That's a big message for the divine feminines that have connected with me and my medicine in particular. You have done your work. Do not let people make you feel like you haven't, and that's why you haven't received yet. That's why it hasn't come in. Because energy is just as tangible and just as big of a gift. So if you are receiving peace right now, that is your sign. If you are receiving calm, if you are receiving this feeling of, like, quite literally, it's like putting your feet up. It's like getting on a lounge chair and sitting back and putting your feet up and being like, there is nothing for me to fix. There's nothing for me to do. There is nothing for me to change. Everything is in divine order and harmony and balance in my world. And now I'm allowing and receiving those around me to meet me here, to match me here. I'm not dropping my energy any longer. I'm not going down to meet them. They are coming to meet me here. That is a beautiful place to be. And it's really important to honor yourself for that in that space. Okay, that was a message that just really wanted to come through. At least it was under 10 minutes. And I would love to connect with you guys about this concept and this idea. If this resonates, I'd really love to hear. I would love to know what is coming up for you in your journey. And if you are still finding yourself in karmic battles, that's okay too. That's perfectly okay. And that is like a very normal path on this twin flame journey. And those are the things that have to be transmuted and purged. The reason that I feel it's so important for me to give voice to this other sort of way of going about this journey is because there's nobody talking about it. I don't watch any twin flame readings. I don't have any teachers, any twin flame teachers myself anymore. There's people I respect and there's people that I think are doing really good work, but I don't see my story and I don't see my energy reflected in any of them because it's a different journey. And so I just think it's important that if you happen to be a part of this, that I give voice to it for you, because I wouldn't be going through it and then being called to share about it unless it was going to help or expand someone else, so that you felt less alone, or that you could see yourself reflected in a journey, right? It's so important. Representation is so important. We see that a lot in our world. So if you are someone that's here and perhaps you're a divine masculine, perhaps you're a divine feminine who is still dealing with karmic stuff, you are so welcome here as well. And we will speak to that. When the messages come through, we'll 100% speak to that. But lately it's just felt very important for me to give voice to those, because I don't want you to feel like you're doing something wrong and that's why it hasn't worked out. You're doing something right, and Spirit wants you to keep going. This is a really interesting message I'm getting. As you know, I don't, unless it's specifically given, I don't tell you if it's a divine feminine or divine masculine energy, but I am really getting from this loyal heart that this is a divine masculine energy. Because again, speaking to this Empress energy, when the Empress sits still and sits in her knowing and her faith and her confidence, everything comes to her. I literally test this. Like, I play energy games all the time out in the world, and I'll just go and sit in like a naturey area, and all the animals will start to come out and like come towards me. Like wild animals. And you can do this like in any way. You can test this at the grocery store, but it's just really fun to do little energy games. And of course it has to be in alignment with what you're calling in, right? So if you call in like, I want to attract everyone wearing a red shirt, you know, you may not be in alignment for that but anyways, you can just do tests, and I like to do it with animals because I'm obsessed with animals. But you can just do little tests to be like, how can I attract this? But what you're attracting at this time, I'm really feeling, is this loyalty and this knowing of the frequency that you maintain and you hold, and how you won't accept anything less. So it's kind of like secret admirer energy is what I'm getting. And this could be people in your life as well. This may not just be like a counterpart. This, you know, and this is probably people in your world, people that you have not looked at in a romantic way, that you have maybe been very focused on this Empress energy and just being in your energy. But the Empress is so attractive. The Empress can't not walk out of her house and have energy, you know, sexual and non-sexual, masculine and feminine energy, be attracted to it. So this is probably happening to you, but because of this sort of little bubble that you've put yourself in, and that's a good thing, you're not really affected by it. It doesn't really have much of a hold on you, which is good, because that's when ego comes in. You know, when we want our ego stroked, when we're like, ooh, look at all this attention I'm getting, but then you're not even in this energy anymore. You're in distortion, right? So this is really beautiful. The thing that's really interesting to me, and I'm going to get a clarifier on it, is it came out with Co-Create in reverse. And this is a beautiful deck by Colette Baron Reed. And she has wonderful, like, her books. I hardly pay attention to guidebooks, but in this deck in particular, she has really great messages. So I think I'm going to get a clarifier, but first I'm going to read for you the reversal that she has, because they usually resonate really well. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is beautiful. You are trying too hard to create all that you desire without the nurturing, vital force of spirit. Perhaps you are in a creative slump, suffering writer's block, facing a monumental task, but unable to decide on your first step, so you just avoid doing anything. Does the word overwhelmed apply to you right now? Why do you think it all has to come down to you? Inspiration means the drawing in of divine guidance. You must tap into spirit, not simply yourself. Ask spirit for inspiration. Two minds are greater than one, so co-create with your divine partner. Reclaim your partnership with spirit. Inspiration will flow through you as soon as you get out of your own way. Okay, that's beautiful. So this feels like the step right before everything I was sharing at the beginning of this video. This is that place where you're tapped out, your inspiration is run dry, you're feeling exhausted, you're that hamster on a wheel, do, go. Here's the card. Overcommitting, flailing, right? Because there was this feeling, it's distorted masculine energy. So there's this feeling like you had to do it all yourself, and if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. That kind of energy. And I feel with this, there's a couple messages coming through, especially because it's coming with this loyal heart. I actually feel that this is a strong message. If you resonated with that first message, this is where your masculine is at. That there is a overburdened energy, there is a pressure energy, there is a acknowledgement of truth energy, awakenings, epiphanies, ahas that have come through, and now there's like a oh shit, I fucked up energy. And because of that, when we're in distorted masculine energy, we feel we have to fix it, that we have to make it better, that we have to go into this kind of, you know, and the irony of this message is it's all about tuning into the creator energy, tuning in, because this is co-create. That's what this card is. And forgive me if I didn't say that. It's this tuning into your sovereignty, your ability, your emperor energy, your divine emperor energy, where you can make it happen. But you can't do it on your own. You have to do it in tandem and in partnership and in, you know, communion with the creator, with the divine. It's not up to this person to fix everything. It's never up to you to fix everything. So if this message resonates with the divine masculine energy within you, take that as well. And it's like we almost have to get to this rock bottom where we can just throw up our arms and say, okay, I surrender. And that's when the divine can kind of come in. And so if this is more a message for you and you're at this place, know that the second you surrender and you go sit on that lawn chair and put your feet up, that is when the help arrives. That's when the guides, the ancestors, you know, 3D help, you know, earth angels, or, you know, somebody calls you with an opportunity, or, you know, something that is stressing you out that might be worrying you comes through. Okay. It's when you finally sit back. And I feel that this is something that's been a long time coming for the divine masculines to learn and to really understand, not just intellectually, but in practice. So it does feel like there's some energy around that right now. So if this was a message more for them, or if you are a divine masculine here, know that that is coming. And I said I was going to grab a clarifier, so I feel like we have a pretty good understanding of the message now. But let's just grab a card on top of it, like advice. There's a really funny, cheeky squirrel out my window right now that is like super distracting, but they are so cute. I don't think people understand how smart squirrels are. They're really intelligent and so funny, just very cheeky. Okay. All right, Spirit, tell us about, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's exactly that. So we got the Four of Swords. And so this is a card about renewal, rest, rejuvenation, sitting still. So this is so appropriate to everything I've been speaking on and sharing already. It's that when in doubt, sit the fuck down. When in doubt, rest. You will not find the solution to your problems with the same energy that created the problem. So if this is a message and you are a divine masculine and you are feeling like, how do I fix it? That energy is not going to get you anywhere. That's going to keep you in that space. It's going to keep you in that energy. Okay, so you have to surrender. You have to release. You have to ask for help. You have to acknowledge that you can't do it on your own and you're not meant to. So the answers you seek and the way forward, the path comes through meditation, comes through going inward. Simple message. Simple. Okay, let's grab a little bit more. What else is going on? Soulmates. The penguins. Very lovey energy right now. Perhaps you're having a lot of prophetic dreams. Bottom of the deck is TikTok. So it does feel like this, there is kind of a intensity around time. And an intensity of around like acting within the divine timing, acting on intuition, getting out of your own way, getting out of your head. And if you are a divine feminine, the TikTok is around releasing the attachment. It's kind of what I was speaking to in the beginning. It's releasing the attachment to, why doesn't it show up when I want it to? Why doesn't it look the way I want it to? I've been told on this journey that if I do A plus B, it's going to equal C and everything's going to come to me. But that's not what's happening for me. So I must be doing something wrong. And it's because you're getting into this comparison and this kind of linear 3D thinking around your manifestations. And a good question to ask yourself when you're feeling that pressure is why? 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 Work with your guides, work with your team. Just keep coming back to that why until you feel like you've had the download. And I will say, for a lot of Divine Feminines right now, I do feel like the downloads are coming in pretty strong. So if you haven't taken that time to kind of get still and to get quiet, that's probably why you haven't had it, right? You haven't had kind of the ahas. But I do feel like the ahas are coming pretty strong in dreams. This love, this really passionate love energy, there's been a heart awakening. There's been a heart awakening specifically on the Divine Masculine side, where they have learned and realized that they were self-sabotaging themselves, that they were locking down their heart out of fear of how the depth of this feeling, the depth of this love was fucking scary. And it was easier to turn away from it and to deny it than it was to accept it and feel it. Because whenever I feel this way, I get hurt. Whenever this happens, I'm vulnerable and it's unsafe. So very classic psychology 101. I'll hurt you before you can hurt me. I'll leave you before you can leave me. And so I feel that there's just been this really deep conscious, like not subconscious, not 5D, but conscious awakening to this self-sabotaging behavior that probably spans and stretches like throughout every aspect of your life, every corner of your life, with your money, with your career, with your inspiration, with your ideas, you know, not just in love, right? It's anything that feels too good. It's like this energy of a person that has a deep fear of things that are too good, like a too good to be true thing. Like, it can't be real. I have to deny it. I have to protect myself from it. And it's so sad because it's a person who has gotten super comfortable and super okay with feeling like shit. Just like a baseline of shit, but a self-denial of it, a refusal to acknowledge that that's actually how you're feeling, that you're actually feeling horrible, you know. And it comes from, you know, it comes from trauma. Okay, so it comes from times in your life when you've had really, you just had it coming at you always, and you've had to be in that fight or flight. And what happens is our nervous system never gets the chance to come. If we don't do inner work, our nervous system will never neutralize. It'll never come back down. It'll stay on that heightened mode. And the only defense mechanism that the ego has is to stay in that blocked state, is to shut down. But of course, this divine had another plan in place for these Divine Masculines, and it was, nope, I'm gonna wake you the fuck up because you have been in survival mode and you're not even acknowledging that you're in that. So it's kind of like, I heard another reader say this a while back and I really liked it, but it's like butt dial manifesting, where it's like you're not consciously manifesting something because you don't have the bandwidth to do that, but your soul goes on to automatic, like autopilot manifesting, to manifest something because you need a change, you need a tower, you need to get back on your soul's path because you're so far off the soul's path. So it feels that this is what happened for the Divine Masculines, is they actually manifested the feminine in. The feminine, you may have come together in this lifetime, you may have not. The feminine was kind of on another path prior to meeting the Divine Masculine. But if you call me and you need help, I will come. That is kind of the energy of these divine connections. And Spirit was like, this is an SOS situation. Call in the Divine Feminine. The masculines are asleep. They're asleep at the wheel and they're drowning. So manifested them in. And that was the wake up that the soul needed. That was the like, holy shit moment. And then of course the ego has its retaliation. It has its, you know, trying to fight back. But it's always a losing battle because love always wins. So that's what I'm feeling. Like, I know that was a lot, but that was just kind of like the backstory of all the energy I'm feeling behind this, because it's so hard. I mean, that's what we do as energy readers, is to try to give words to the feelings we're feeling in a card or we're feeling from the energy. And that's kind of what I'm feeling. And it's all just like it's scary, it's intimidating, it's like, what the fuck do I do? It's super hard to make logical sense of it because there's just so much feeling, and that's really overwhelming for a person that has had their heart shut down for a very long time and has avoided at all costs anything that feels too much, because then it's like there's been an association with feeling equals vulnerability equals loss of power for these masculines. So it's like, if I feel or care too much, I will be taken advantage of. I will be screwed. This person must have ulterior motives. And I know how that's happened in the past. I know what that was like. Can't do that again. Let me save myself, right? And we always do the best we can with what we know in the moment. I truly believe that. Like, if all of us that have suffered trauma at the hands of other people, that have suffered really horrible, horrific things, there's darkness in this 3D reality. There are entities. There's dark energy, okay, fighting this. But at the same time, I do believe and I do have faith in humans and humanity. And I feel that humans are always doing the best they can with what they know. And so this person, these masculines, did what they were taught, did what they had been told, did what they had been shown. Their devil energy, which is the ego, won that battle. Okay? But spirit has not given up. The divine feminine may have given up, the masculine may have given up, but the divine has not given up. The divine has fought really hard for this awakening. Really, really hard. The stubbornness is being like obliterated. Because it's been stubbornness. But the higher power is shining through. The higher power is here. And the community is here. The soul family is being attracted. A bird just, he didn't get hurt, but he just like flew into the window. I'm telling you, I put out this intention and animals just come through. So there is an awakening beyond. It's like, this energy is here to work together with spirit, to be in a communal sort of energy with spirit, right? Two is better than one. The power of coming together, unifying, oneness, like this is the answer. And this is the energy behind these cards. It's a person who's really, really working with their intuition and getting out of their pride and their ego and saying, like, I know how to do it. I know how to do it better. Like, oh, I know you're telling me to do this, but I'm actually going to do it this way. Like, self-sabotage, right? So it's a person that's really having that reckoning and awakening around all the self-sabotage. And now they're practicing and playing with the energy of, how do I do this? How do I actually move with a divine energy? And that's going to feel very unnatural and like scary at first, you know? Anytime we learn, when we're a beginner's mind, especially to someone that's very ego-based, and the divine masculines have been very ego-based, very pride-based, you know, which is a very prevalent thing in our society. But it can be really hard to be in a beginner's mind. But that's what I'm feeling from these cards. We also had Chop Wood come out. So now is the time to really work hard. And it's not about like, what is that saying? It's like don't work harder, work smarter, or something like that. So that's kind of like the double message wrapped into this energy, is like, it's not about doing more. It's not about this energy we got at the beginning with this like hamster on a wheel, right? I have to fix it. Perfectionism, right? That's distorted masculines. Energy. The energy is like crazy today. That's distorted masculine energy. So that's not the answer. It's getting out of that. And that is actually what's going to feel hard and unnatural. This idea of chopping wood, it's kind of like a meditation, right? It's like a Buddhist principle, a Buddhist practice of like when in doubt, chop wood. When abundant, chop wood. When in pain, chop wood. When successful, chop wood. You know, it's just like, it's constantly showing up to the practice, to what you're working through, what you're working on. And it's really a state of presence with your emotion, presence with your heart. that is the answer. It's not about the doing. The doing is what can really get us into trouble. It's like the overthinking. It's like, get out of your own way. And I feel that that's what this chopwood energy is really speaking to. Okay, cool. I'll grab a couple more messages from the tarot for us and then leave you. Hi, Priestess. Yeah, someone's awakening to their intuition. But there's also a lot going on underneath the surface. There's a lot in the unseen. There's a lot being kept secret. I feel that pain is a driving factor right now. Because when a heart awakening happens, Queen of Cups, the most love you can feel, you know, pain is not something we get to avoid the more we love. The more we love, the more we hurt. And that has been the fear in these connections for the Divine Masculines. The Divine Feminines are strong as fuck. They're like, yeah, I know pain. I get it. No problem. The Divine Feminine's fear has been around this. So I just sit there and do nothing. So I can't take action. So I'm not into masculine energy where I just go and make it happen and force things and, you know, fight against nature. That's the Divine Feminine's lesson. But pain, nah. Bring it on. But there's a healing here because I am seeing the Star card. I've seen Justice. Two of Wands. And Two of Wands. Oh, wow. Yep. Oh, wow. Okay. So, Two of Wands. Thinking, strategizing, planning, looking into the future. This can kind of speak to manifestation. Two flames, twin flames, the two wands. It is, you know, a lot of readers view it as a twin flame card. And what came right after it is the Ace of Cups. So a renewal in love, rebirth, breakthrough, unconditional love. The cup runneth over of love. How do we bring this in? How do we ground this? And this is a Divine Masculine energy. We also have the Page of Pentacles. So this does speak to a movement forward. This speaks to a grounding. It's a page energy, okay? So it's a beginner's mind, not an expert. We're not in our full power yet, but we're learning. And there's so much we didn't know that we thought we knew. And now what I'm actually feeling from this energy is a person who's willing to admit, I don't know, but I want to. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to understand myself more. You know, it's this like looking, projecting forward. Now that the love has really been felt in a way that, like, you know, can't be denied, it's this, and I do get a little bit of overthinking from this card, I have to say. I get a little bit of overthinking. What do I say? The perfectionism, because it's that page energy in like a very practical, tangible way, because it's pentacles. So it's very like, what do I say? What do I say? Okay, I gotta say this. Okay, because there's fear. There's fear that, we have the Queen of Swords, in the bottom of the deck lineup. Yeah, so the Queen of Swords is typically someone that kind of cuts people out, can be very strong, very, doesn't give second chances, you know? It's just kind of like, nope, goodbye. So I feel that this person could, whoever's Divine Masculine I'm reading here, could be very afraid of how this is going to go, of your reaction. But there is this movement forward. And I really like that I got the Emperor in reverse here, because you're right, cards always have different meaning, but it's always more about the energy of the card. And I know that we can think of the Upright and the Emperor as the Divine Masculine energy. We can think of it as, you know, a very awesome card, right? But it also can be somebody who has to have it their way, who's very ego-based, very pride-based, very distorted masculine energy. You know, it's the boss, right? It's somebody who, like, has to boss everybody around type of thing, you know, like authority, like that type of energy. And I feel that energy is actually what has been in the masculine's way for a very long time, is that self-sabotage. And that's what keeps them safe and protected, because, you know, most depictions of the emperor is a man on a card, kind of like with his arms crossed. He's very like, nobody's getting in type of energy, like nobody's, and that's like protection, that's fear, right? So the energy of the emperor can have a lot of fear. So seen in the reverse, I really like it coming out with this page, because it's like, I'm willing to be a novice. I'm willing to admit what I don't know. I'm willing to admit I was wrong. I'm willing to make it right. And I don't know how to do that. I may not know how to do that, but I know what I feel. And I know that I have to take action. Like, I know that it's up to me. If it's meant to be, it's up to me, you know? That type of energy. Judgment on the bottom of the deck. So that's really beautiful energy. It's not easy energy. Like, this is all deep, deep inner work and healing. But what I like is it's somebody who's really willing to do it. It's somebody who's not avoiding the deep work. It's somebody who's like being moved to do this work. Yeah. It's somebody that knows that they did not make the right choice. Four of Cups. In the past, somebody rejected this cup of love and this offer, and rejected truth, rejected divine love, a gift, literal gift from the universe, because they were in this energy of, it's too good to be true, it can't be real, it must be fake, I got shit I gotta do over here. This over here is actually gonna make me happier. And what this person realized is that was false. That was devil energy. That did not make them happy. And their true happiness and fulfillment comes from the soul. And the soul is obviously connected to a soul connection. So, what's coming from that? Three of Cups, Six of Cups, reunion, reconciliation. It's hard to give words to the beauty of these cards, but they're deeply emotional cards. They're very felt cards. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of history. It's past lives. So much of this is like a fear from past lives. You know, if you've lost this person in the past, part of your walls and your hard shell can come from, I've lost them every go round. I can't be, I don't want to lose them again. Like, you know, that happens a lot with Twin Flames, where it's like, oh, you know, every life you've died or every life you've hurt me in some horrible way, and I ran into you again. You know, it's like seeing, it's like the thing of feeling like hearing that somebody, you know, you thought someone had died, right? You thought someone in your life had died, and then all of a sudden they like show up at your door. It's like, how would you feel? You'd be like terrified, you'd be shocked, you'd be probably pretty happy and like, oh my God, but then also like, you know. And a person who has a blocked heart chakra, blocked sacral chakra, you know, that's not in balance with their whole self, they're not holistically healthy, they're gonna run. Fuck yeah, they're gonna run, you know, or they're gonna stay and fuck it up. Self-sabotage. But the divine wasn't about to let that happen. The divine, these loves are too important and too big. So the divine was like, yeah, you guys can't sit in this and burn it to the ground, because it could be, you know, I'm sure you've been in a relationship where you've seen it going down a path before, and you're like, oh, we're killing it, and I know we're killing it, you know, and there may have been another outcome potentiality if the two people had the strength and been independent enough to break from codependency to go their separate ways. So, and I don't feel like the humans of these twin souls would have been able to do that. It was the divine intervention that made that happen. Interesting messages. I'm going to have to watch this one back, because there was so much that came through that I don't even know what I was saying. But I'm going to leave it there, because I just realized how long it got. So, you know, 5D. We were in 5D. I had no idea what time it was. Thank you so much for being here. I hope these messages resonate. I would love to hear from you and what's going on with your journey. Otherwise, I will see you again soon. The more you engage, the more you like, the more you share, the more you really support this channel so that I can be here and do this. And also the more it's accessible for me to reach your energy and to pull messages for you. So the more you interact. Sending you so much love.